Irish Fairy Tales, Chapter 14. The women druids, his guardians, belonged to his father's people. Bavmal was Yule's sister, and, consequently, Fin's aunt. Only such a blood tie could have bound them to the clan Baskin, for it is not easy, having moved in the world of court and camp, to go hide with a baby in a wood, and to live as they must have lived in terror. What stories they would have told the child of the sons of Morna. Of Morna himself, the huge-shouldered, stern-eyed, violent Connachtman. And of his son's young Gaul Mac Morna in particular, as huge-shouldered as his father, as fierce in the onset, but merry-eyed when the other was grim, and bubbling with a laughter that made men forgive even his butcheries. Of Conan male Mac Morna his brother, gruff as a badger, bearded like a boar, bald as a crow, and with a tongue that could manage an insult where another man would not find even a stammer. His boast was that when he saw an open door he went into it, and when he saw a closed door he went into it. When he saw a peaceful man he insulted him, and when he met a man who was not peaceful he insulted him. There was Gara Dove Mac Morna, and Savage Art Og, who cared as little for their own skins as they did for the next man's, and Gara must have been rough indeed to have earned in that clan the name of the rough Mac Morna. There were others. Wild Connachtmen, all as untamable, as unaccountable as their own wonderful countryside. Fin would have heard much of them, and it is likely that he practiced on a nettle at taking the head off Gaul, and that he hunted a sheep from cover in the implacable manner he intended later on for Conan the Swearer. But it is of Yule Mac Baskin he would have heard most. With what a dilation of spirit the ladies would have told tales of him, Fin's father. How their voices would have become a chant as feat was added to feat, glory piled on glory. The most famous of men and the most beautiful, the hardest fighter, the easiest giver, the kingly champion, the chief of the Fianna na Aaron. Tales of how he had been waylaid and got free, of how he had been generous and got free, of how he had been angry and went marching with the speed of an eagle and the direct onfall of a storm, while in front and at the sides, angled from the prow of his terrific advance, were fleeing multitudes who did not dare to wait and scarce had time to run. And of how at last, when the time came to quell him, nothing less than the whole might of Ireland was sufficient for that great downfall. We may be sure that on these adventures Fin was with his father, going step for step with the long-striding hero, and heartening him mightily.